name is Mike Simon. I'm a Christian target video. I'm the target of a persecution program called Gang-Stalking Targeted Individual. I live in Uppsala, Sweden. I've been targeted this for more than a decade. Gang-stalking is real most online TS or called not. And a big part of how they cover up gang-stalking targets is to have crazy talking counterintelligence agents crazy talk about this. Talk about gang-stalking in a way that discredits it. Hence all the talk about DTK machines and direct and everything else. I'm going to the corner store. Going to go shopping. So I started my COVERT into the last thing, which is part of the survival advice I'm giving to people. Part of the videos. Part of the TS survival coaching. Teaching tourists how to, first of all, warning tourists that they will work to sleep inside the home when they wait for the video. If they can't enter, they want to get inside the home. And if they do, they might do bad things like contaminate the environment, toxic chemicals, spread heavy metal dust, open your fridge, put poison or drugs in your food. So it's imperative that you stop the process of feeding entry into your home on your way, which is why you need to I recommend the total videos. I had no recommended total videos. Get a security system, COVERT entry, which means when you're reading, you need to have all the video recording outside the home to make it hard for people to sneak inside the home and post a video in the future where else back in the video. So, not only have I been warned at targets, there's a lot of targets that are unaware of the fact that problem that's CoIntelPro. And the punches don't see coming hurt the most. Not only have I been warned about that, but I've been making several streams and videos teaching targets how to set up a budget, not a pie in the sky solution, but something that somebody could do on a budget, like a low budget. All you need is you could copy how I do it. All you need is a Android phone, timestamp camera app from Google Play Store, and then a laptop. A lot of people have this already. So my COVERT entry denial system is starting a stream, and right now I'm using Rumble, so I've been live streaming inside the home as a lead. And I'm also getting brought about this because I have these links to target Chuck Langer's website, and so it's a live stream, and then it's going to be video recording. So I use a phone with a timestamp camera, start video recording, in the inside of the front door. And that should be the only feasible way to enter your apartment or house. And you film that, okay? Which means you secure your apartment or home so that they have to break their window or something, leave all the sounds so they can enter some other door. And then you film the exit, the door that you're using. The transfer from the inside. And everything else should be locked and secure. I don't tolerate the abuse of the disgusting free flying monkeys that tolerate me. They whisk them up. I tolerate the flying monkeys. And I punch back. So I don't just let flying monkeys talk with covert narcissistic abuse, direct conversation, subtle gas, subtle put downs, like narcissistic abuse, which is a big part of tolerance. Like I don't just let the program target me and destroy my life. I punch back by making videos, getting word out. This is an info war. Meaning, I fight back in this program. Don't just sit there and let this happen to me and keep my mouth shut. A way to fight back is what I'm doing, to work to get the word about Gang-Stalking, work to expose this. They don't want people to hear about this from a real TI, not only speaking truth about it. So that's a way that I fight back, keep working to get the word about this. To quote Chuck Langer's, the government doesn't want the word about Gang-Stalking to get out, but if it does get out, they want to sound crazy on Earth. So a big part of how they work to cover up Gang-Stalking videos is to have fake talking, crazy talkers active online, posting, making videos about this, and fake support groups. So there's a lot of misinfo. That's designed to keep this discredit covered up and keep people thinking this is something only crazy people think is happening to them, because they have fake TIs talking about brain chip implants and voices in your head machines and stuff like this. So that's on purpose, kind of intelligence agent fake TS have a job to crazy talk. Like, yeah, I'm good. Gang-Stalking is real. Put a chip in my brain, do voice into it. So if people Google and search it, which are my videos, it's a porn called Gang-Stalking videos. They found people saying they got a chip in the brain and they hear voices and they talk about sad like outer space. And that's decided to keep the topic discredit and keep people saying, yeah, this Gang-Stalking stuff is something that paranoid, crazy, paranoid schizophrenics believe. So it's not real, basically. So what people say. I just clicked that, made a little click there of that little rank there. I thought that's actually like a short, concise to the point. So let's click save that as a short. So here we go. Yeah, so if you talk video, there's people are recruited to target with covert abuse, psychological, narcissistic dog abuse tactics. And people get sent out to go where you are. People get told to do covert, it's called narcissist double abuse tactics, like push your buttons and do subtle gas, start to use trigger words and start to put communicate veiled threats and stuff correctly. It's like psychological warfare. A big part of the target video is 5 monkeys that work for the program will get put up to do, say, act in ways around the spots we're talking about. And you can also get targeted physically, as I've been sprayed with chemicals, I've been shot leg with a dart gun or something similar, have permanent damage involved into my right leg, which is why you see me overdressing when I go outside. Because I've been sprayed with chemicals on out before, shot with a dart gun or something. They try to make me have accidents, I've been poisoned in wider ways. So this program will target you physically. It's not just psychological. And the first few years of target, all that the target notices might be the psychological target. So before I get carried away here, finish up copying this. I'm gonna copy this link and the header. The former head of the Los Angeles FBI. There's 2 whistleblowers. I'm a whistleblower, contemporary. There's 2 past whistleblowers that have been whistleblowing about this program that I like to reference as I'm working to get the word about this, talk about Gang-Stalking Targeted videos. Chuck Langenberg, late T. Chuck Langenberg, had a website, had a radio show, you could say, on Talk Show. And there's an archive that remains of his past audio recordings. Okay. And he's dead, and I believe the Pope took him out. He died around 2012, 2013. And Ted Gallerson, former head of Los Angeles FBI, confirmed in his own affidavit the Gang-Stalking Targeted is real. He was also whistleblower, ex-government insider whistleblower. They said the Gang-Stalking Targeted is real. It's a national program, multinational, a program that works to spy on people, harass, target them different ways, psychological warfare. And he also talked about he getting targeted physically, and he got targeted by the program too, physically, by cars that would like spray chemicals on him. Yes, if you told video, it's imperative that it's important, very important, that you protect yourself from covert entry. That's one of the things you need to take measures to protect yourself against. The program wants to be able to enter into your home your way and poison you. Poison you food, basically do bad things. There's other things they can do to you, none of them good. The program wants to get inside your home if you told video. Landlord, spare key, pick the lock, whatever. Get inside your home, that's why it's called covert entry. Like sneak inside your home, that's part of the target. Get inside your home, post your food in your fridge, contaminate environment with toxic chemicals, whatever, to target you physically. I'm making changes to the streams. And now Sweden has a 5 and 6. And I said this, talks about this, and that's all no. And it's like, I don't know, when they switched to the intermediate cartridges, I don't think that they were expecting a drone warfare, but it's my guess. Meaning, it's easier for Swedish soldiers to shoot down drones with a 5.56 than the AK-4. You understand? So they were thinking, wow, what they were like, let's change it to a lighter cartridge, low power. So they use everything called 7.62 and 6. It's harder to shoot down the drone with an AK-4 7.62 by 51 native cartridge than M4 or an AK-5 5.53. So more rapid, lower weakness, it's easier to get many shots from small rather than bang one time, bang another time. That's a little example. But it's like if you have an AK-4 and this is drone to shoot down, like bang, and you can see, and it might fall out shots, takes longer to recover aim and get the shoot. So it's easier to shoot many times than a small recoil with a light head with a recoil. So the AK-4 has more recoil and it's harder to control for long than the AK-5, for example. It'd be easier to shoot down a drone with an AK-5, the Swedish army rifle, than an AK-4. Why? Because if you're there's always moving AK-4 kind of like this, okay? Then I have to put it aim the right, you understand? Versus with a smaller kind of guy, go bang, 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 you can get more shots off and more activity. So, kind of interesting how in the West and in Russia, there was a point in time around the Cold War, which had less scope to intermediate cartridges, lighter cartridges with less recoil. And now we have the Ukraine-Russia war, which is a new type of warfare now, where there's drones on the battlefield. And they have people in improvise in Russia, like anti-drone militias. And they have like people that are on boots on the ground in Ukraine, figure out how to make like shotgun shells to yourself to load their AK-74 so they can shoot down drones and stuff. So switching to lighter caliber works for contemporary warfare. I don't know if when they sat down, the people who are deciding this is like, let's switch to like NATO countries or whatever, EU countries to be a lighter cartridge. Because you know that in the next one's going to be a lot of drones and part of the battery we needed to shoot down drones and stuff. So and that'll be easier with a lighter, a lower recoil, lighter caliber. Or not. But then if they didn't see that coming, like what we see now, drones before, then still the change is made from better rifle cartridge to light ones, big cartridge to big cartridge. It's like a right decision. So I'm fixing to go to the store and buy some stuff. And I got the paper in the mail from the government that letting us know that there's going to be an exercise, a military exercise, around the corner. And there'll be iron flanks, and there'll be drones part of it. And that's all I got, that's good to do. Because if they did it before people, and people can have full wall of guns from there, you might think it's a bank robbery, maybe you understand unnecessary people, all ladies from the cops, and kind of give gunshots and stuff. If you let people know, because if you hear like rabbits and auto fire, or full auto fire, that person knows a little bit by know that's not coming. Because in Sweden, it's kind of common that you get 1 or 2 rounds, sometimes at night, which could be an eftersorgsjägare, somebody hits a hog on the road, or a deer, or an elk, and then there's hunters in Sweden at the job, they get caught by a car from to go and look for like a wounded animal or got hit and then walk off, and then there's somebody's going to draw as a hunter by contract to go and track the animal and put it out. So it happens sometimes in Sweden, going after you get like 1 or 2 shots at night. And you might go, yeah, it might be somebody hit a deer and then the hunter can't find the shot. Okay, or even some people hunt. And sometimes in the daytime you can do like 1 shot, 2 shots, and you go, well, you can most likely hunt to shoot the woods. But if I hadn't known, being informed that it was a military exercise coming, and I would get like rabbits in my order, or full auto down for me, right? Well, okay. Okay. You know that
it's not a conference. You know that it's not a conference, and so what's going on history through all of this. So it's obviously good that they inform the public that they want forcing exercise and it said if you find blanks, it's one exercise, and they'll have drones in the air, and they'll have Swedish soldiers dressed like normally do. It's their initiative here, and then they also said there'd be some people role playing enemy forces wearing white armbands. I mean, a lot of ice cream. We'll see if on these ice creams will get counted. What we call it. So after the AK-4 stopped being the primary service rifle for the Swedish Armed Forces, it became the weapon of the home guard, like the reserves, home guard of hemvärnet. And I'm not sure if it's still used for now, but it is the used for contact work. I don't think Russia, like I thought about this, like, are they holding more exercises in Sweden because of Ukraine conflict? Are they like kind of upregulating spending and training and stuff because of the Ukraine war? Kind of because of Russia, the inflation rate? Or is it kind of the same frequency of exercise that is keeping going? I will say this. In my analysis, Russia is highly unlikely. I don't expect Russia to come out to Sweden. I don't. But there's evidence from the other university from the region. So I'm a Swedish citizen, Christian from Britain, and it's a war convention. Came up with war for peaceful war, having shot on the record. So there's a civil war, you can say, like a secret war organization. I don't know how many of us there are in Sweden. I know I'm one. And look down the internet, I haven't really seen other problems that try to Sweden. That's a lot of it. They can actually win sometimes on the outside. But one of the main ways that happens at the golf, you can start seeing the golf. I think I'm shooting something like that. In the same photo the one with people work with. And I have permanent damage to my leg from that, and also my calf. More than 100. Okay. 2 times of the speed or so, but in chaos in the city, I see that I can't. So my life is a Christian widow. In my life is being chaos in the city by the people on the country. Several times being like fish for weapons and then the same things. So being persecuted as a Christian is a kind of concept. It should people some strange wow, I'm a Christian being persecuted. It's more expected than that. So anyway, that's a point. One of the speakers in Swedish Army, I had a pair of Swedish Army pants. I don't know if they're still using that M90 cannon pair. Okay, M90 cannon pair. They're different cannon pants. They have UCP, you have Osimo, you have like Woodland and this and that, and they have different cannon pairs. And I have a pair of suits all in night. And I like to good, high quality meal spec, meal person. So that's all the main ladies are very considered outside. Right, it just makes it harder for a dog to connect to my folks and my family. And you can buy them on outdoors survival websites and outdoors camping websites. They sell N90 cans around $50. At least that's how it. I like the N90 cans. Is it good? So today's outfit of the day, TIPP, I'm a warrior, a Christian warrior. I've been attacked with chemical warfare, strong, very chemicals and stuff. So it's not accurate to describe the gang-stalking without talking with as narcissistic as you leave it that. Because I've been attacked with weapons, murder attempts, the psychopathy, leading over the psychopathy, chemical warfare. So I'm part of daily psychological warfare, chemical warfare. And I'm even working using that to describe as this important. It's more accurate to describe as war than adult bullying or harassment. Because this psychological warfare also, yes. But it's also chemical warfare, it's a different type of warfare. I've been sprayed with chemicals, I've been food poisoned, I've been shot in the leg or something. And I suspect that was a CIA ball count type of thing. I had a constant non-pressure sensation of white cat from where I was hit. Which is why you see me go aggressive to make it harder to get droplets of liquid on my skin against the absorption. But it's actually, it hurts you less if the guy would have like a draw with a draw. Then okay, all that pass them all kind of back and it's getting something, see they have to drop it, or they told pass the under the back and do drop, okay, that's some kind of chemical toxin. If it gets here and it kind of evaporates, it's not going to hurt as much as if it gets on my skin and my skin starts showing up. It's called transdermal absorption through the skin absorption, which is why this medicine is also prescribed as a bandage to go the skin and you soak it out and it gets into bloodstream. So if I'm at a problem, so you see the way the hats and stuff, but so it's harder for them to hit with liquids or droplets. Okay? And as a basic TFPP here, multiple pollinators are having as many what's it called? Not cubic centimeters, cubic inches. But so as TS survival basics, if you get to the point where you realize you're not real, and you just start getting caught with cancer space and all kinds, I say don't wait until you have permanent damage to one of the legs and you like barely survive an assassination, shock or toxin in the leg. Okay. But it's better to have things that prevent shock. So it's like I had to figure out the living look if I step over count, that's a lot of work and show that the doctor. I had to figure out ways to stop myself from being hit again. And I did actively help defeat those who caused me to see it doctor. And I survived it because I had enough of animal toxin. So at the moment the toxins increases. And I'm going to need to that. Not just that specialist, it's medical questions. Doctor for starting to we had the same findings, supplements, or anything else. Talk to a master physician for starting to something supplements, okay. So I talk about a lot of RNC, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, right? I do recommend RNC supplementation. Bicycle. So impressed that overcome. So in the war I had physical attacks. I've been shot with a dog gun. I was related to local players. They like long guns and then that hair of sweat hair. And I got hit with that. And I'm in the cornerstone and it's on his curve, so they don't know it's on his Gang-Stalking. But it's persecutors, paid persecutors. One is agents for the program. And I'm standing there like the boss passes all this stuff. You know, they say boss passes. They like this holding stuff, talking here and that and and I feel something hit my right leg. And then quickly right after feel something impact on my right leg, there's a feeling radiating out from the injection site. Yeah, something happened to my leg, felt something hit my leg. And then the next thing I know is feeling radiating out. You got to feel something hit your ear, and that's non-itchy, twitchy type of feeling. And that's how I describe it. How would I describe the feeling so radiating out and down my leg? That's a non-pressure, itchy, twitchy type of feeling. Like inducing muscle spasms. I can feel kind of like vibrations in the muscles. Similarly, if you, everyone's had this one time, you have involved in muscle twitches on your eyes. Okay? And the figures can be maybe too much caffeine or too much sleep. So, a lot of people have like involved in muscle spasms on the eyes, similar to that. Because I feel contractions, and I feel muscle spasms, and then non-itchy kind of irritant feeling. Like I feel irritant, easily exposed. And then itchy twitching, that's not with needle numbers. And I did that work would be like an assassination attempt, and there were 50 dose on the tops in that. I would say, only for me, it wasn't a 50 dose. It wasn't a lethal dose. And I expected us to survive. So anyways, after this, I had permanent damage, just more than 3 years after that. Then I had like a constant feeling. Feel all the time, the non-pressure type feeling. There we go. To that permanent damage. And you can't be passive and complacent. I'm in a war, and it's better to be a warrior in a war than a warrior. So discipline, having set-up procedures, if that, never is, always that. But you understand, I'm living by rules, and that's how to stay strong and healthy despite the persecution. All these things to God, because God has been with me, how to will enable me to figure out ways to protect myself. I'm still here, and I will share the gospel. If I would have actually told me that they would be my gospel, should not have to see it all. So, anyway, I support. After that, I started to improvise this, and I had to figure out ways to stop this from happening again. I'm not looking to have one o'clock and my body maybe less than this time. Or even lower, like if I survive that the first time, have another like damage for my body. So initially I was like multiple layers, just multiple regular layers. Like long johns on my side, long johns, sweatpants, denim jeans, not a pair of denim jeans, okay, and like rainproof kind of pants, okay, like 4, 5, 6 layers of like regular polo pants. After a while, I invested in some quality, more quality layers, which I'm wearing here. Outfit of the day, TS survivor. So I'm very close to act as armor against weapons I've been covered before. So these are Biodisphere Australia pants, and the denim with a layer of DuPont Kevlar everything. So that's a kind of a quality layer. So denim, you know, itself is a good quality layer. There's even like you can stitch enough layers of denim to get it to stop bullets. I've seen young students on YouTube test it out. Like how many layers of denim will stop at 9? How many layers of denim will stop at 22 and stuff? And you just like stitch 30 tiles of denim together with numbers to shoot it, and then all it stopped at the 18 layers. So like 24. I'm not saying you should try it. I'm saying I see people do it. Realistic testing. And this ballistics is termed ballistics, which is something that I'm interested in. So actually having kind of interest in armor and weapons and mine blessed by God with so many temples has happened. So I understand how all it works, and then applying some of that and then ballistics and what we has helped me to protect myself from protect us getting on board. And a basic of stopping color is multiple quality layers of one quality layer. They work out with it and roll homogeneous color, RHA, one layer of thick color. It might be like this thick RHA. And then now it's more common with like common, like the Asians. It might have a layer of aluminum, a layer of hard steel, a layer of some kind of special plastic, and then multiple layers of that, all layers. And then there's both sides of it. I support. So basically, what is a bulletproof vest like a Kevlar vest? The most common type of bullet on the world, right? security of police and civilians. It's softball, cardboard, more layers of ballistic cardboard stitched together, and people with this order, and it starts bullets. So what's that? Layers of fabric, 7 layers of fabric. That is all fabric. So I would say that the same thing applies to stalking and doctor, where you want multiple of the layers and then you can start a projectile. It might require less layers to start a doctor, like a CNN doctor, than a 9x19 or a 5.57 for this. Maybe you need like 9. Just I guess if you understand it's really ridiculous, it would be impactful whether you use some hands go outside. To start like a 9x19, like how many layers or how many Levi's jeans we have to wear to start a 9x19 bullet? Maybe like 48 or something like this, okay, like 96, it'd be like practically impossible, no problem. So that's important. To stop a dark gun, they might be less space required. So basically, after I got hit in the leg with CA or something similar, I was initially like this on dressing with things I already had on clothes and I couldn't dress it. Like when I got hit went through my clothes and damaged my leg, it was like I was wearing maybe like long johns and a pair of sweatpants. And it's like, okay, apparently that's not enough, but I was wearing 2 layers of that time to stop the dog from my body. And it's like, I'm going outside, long johns, sweatpants, 2 sweatpants, 1 sweatpant, another sweatpant over it, denim pants, and then another layer of denim pants over it. So wearing like 4, 5, 6 layers of pants, okay? And then over time, I augmented my outfit and having poor layers on there. So these pants are denim pants, okay, with a layer of cardboard, which was accidentally friends. And she goes, come on, let me test this liquid like the machine that makes the liquid like threads. And the physician went, no, I'm not really good at working my break the machine, you can call it out. Eventually, she kept nagging that more like the client is a special solution. I know there's something to that the pilot kept nagging. Eventually, the guy was like off the machine when I came the machine and the spinning threads like the liquid, where she had been mixing liquids together like a chemist. Susanne, the woman who eventually kept us, and she was like, this is a liquid, and she wanted to test it. Eventually, the technician let her run the solution in the machine, and she was once very strong and hard to break off, unlike the nylon or whatever other chemicals that you usually use in this machine. It's like it's harder to break off after it comes out the nozzle. It's like it's strong contact. And then they eventually have DuPont area, and DuPont also had both for everything. Okay. And so this is a DuPont area. And so there's denim pants, table line with a layer of DuPont area. Okay. So now there's ballistic radar. There's different types, 12 screens and stuff. There's also kilometric carbon. So there's ballistic cable. Then this cable used to make canoes with resin, and it might be a mix, and it doesn't have to be the same weave and stuff to stop bullets. It's like, yeah, this cable will be weaved together like this, or be used with resin to structure the paper to keep a canoe together. And then there's other type of cable that's spun a different way, they weave together a different way, that they sell the board. So it's not like cable, it's cable. Okay? The type of cable is used to make motorcycle jeans. That's supposed to protect the abrasion, not from puncturing the force. Okay? It's not designed to stop like an ice pick or a bullet from getting through. It's designed to give abrasion resistance, like friction. If you're on a bike and you fall down and you're sliding asphalt before you come to the stall, it's supposed to be enough time where you're not getting the asphalt rubbing against your skin. Where it is like you can have this layer rubbing against asphalt for a while and it doesn't get through, what's not right through. So it might be the same type of cable as stop bullets, but cable is cable, but it matters how tight you weave, if you're tight you weave, and they have different wheel, and they fit the different ways to put the threads together. Now, what is this? Looking at it or holding out to the sun and stuff, it's a tight weave. So if you look at some projector, like a dog gun, in my thinking, what you want is multiple layers with a tight grip. Okay. So if I was wearing pants to stop a dog gun, I wouldn't rely on pants that are like stretchy sports pants that you hold it up to the sky, you see like holes there, okay, like a seat. You want something that is like tight. It's not like the threads are going to lose. You want to be super tight. Why? Because you want the projectile to be forced to expend energy and being deformed, cutting through many individual fibers. You don't want to be like these two super strong fibers far from each other, and this is a bullet and it's slightly in between. You want to force it to burn energy, dump energy, lose energy, kinetic energy, and being deformed by traveling through a lot of individual fibers. Okay? So you're looking to have to cut through a lot of fibers and not have a loose one where it can go in between. Okay? Like side of between. So that's why you have to have a tight group. And then pants have a contact group. So I tended to the side you can see it's not really like a lot of holes. Whereas there's some holes that if I like have a skull cap, there's a quick rise, they can have a baseline or something. So yeah, if you hold it up to the sky, you see like holes. Okay? So that's not what you want. So anyway, here's the point. Yeah, so basically I invested in a pair of Vikings Go Australia pants. My own research, I found something that was good to me, and it's Vikings Go Australia or Amazon actually. And they're casual, they look like normal, kind of stylish casual denim pants. And they have different patterns, okay? So they are both on the cabin, urban can. And black and concrete helps with that, black and wet and concrete surfaces for forming. So if you wear black, and then this cabin helps to blend on wet and concrete surfaces. And the positive have a cardboard box, and I go outside and walk around with it. It's around these species and there's actually this different type of cabin you can have in video game. There's all fine. And they be like stacked, so it's like brown cable. Helps with them in these sandwich. Okay. Okay. So whereas like the black and gray and then white, this type of cabin I guess in various homes that they also blending in concrete surfaces. That's what possible. The rest of I bought these bikes to denim pants labeled carrot. And a lot of these parts are unlockable features. The red glasses are unlocked as to help autistic people sensitivities. But we do have the effect. See, it's like I have like these red glasses, they're like and it really makes lights that they call lights as noise. And they might have like a blue light effect, but the market is blue light glasses. And like they mark it as protection glasses to protect from laser damage. So if you have lasers, like stick glasses for protection, might be more to protect against lasers on this. It's kind of like lab glasses where they have it's kind of like a type of glasses supposed to protect the eyes. And they have those thick in red, and those really have a lot of sensitivity, which have involved. So not often it's like autism aids blue light colored glasses, but I might have both those features. Where we with autism sensitivities look at this one blue light exposure as well. It helps with that, roughly more this on the board. Okay, this is kind of protection glasses, protect the eyes from lasers. Okay, might be one more for that. Like lab glasses, thick red, protect against lasers or so. Okay, so sometimes work or something on lasers, they might be more. There is a point. It's labeled careful, and definitely I believe that this pair of pants with one layer thin, which is good fabric strong, and an additional layer of careful, it's going to be better at stopping a dog down than a regular denim pants. And also might be equal to wearing three denim pants in this one pair of pants. Because it's denim, one layer denim, and one layer careful. It might be equal to three regular denim pants. So, wouldn't be surprised. I had to do testing and stuff to know for sure. But yeah, so basically after I started with a dog gun or something similar, I started overdressing and investing in clothes that are better. More, like less layers and using qualities. Okay, so top and bottom set, bikes first I bought a hoodie, they have a cash looks like a normal hoodie, all this kind of stuff. And the pants look like the regular denim pants. And for a person who you were talking before, that to me is like makes more sense to buy a hoodie that has the yoke cover in it than a regular hoodie if you're looking to have all kinds of stuff blue bars. Okay, they get it too much. So, yeah. Actually, I can show you. There are some lines here. If you can see the orange in here, that's the camera. You from everything. So top and bottom, that's it. So if you're a home video and you're looking to prevent people with lockdown, you can follow my advice there and buy a bike series for top and bottom set. Hoodie, you have a hoodie, casual hoodie, one, and denim pants in different colors and stuff, different models. With late camera. And it wasn't like expensive. I think the pants were less than $100. And the hoodie was less than $100. And it's like a pair of jeans and a hoodie. And it's like for years. Okay. So I say I'm not a big clothes guy that buy clothes all the time. I don't really know how. I call it. So I do like call it. Constantly with M9 pants, strong blue ball and sheet. It's like how long will this pair of pants last me when they're hit use outdoorsing, whatever I'm doing, exercising, practicing knee strikes, that how long would it, if I buy this pants, how long would it last after they broke and this is what I do here. But the sustain, it's like the value for money ratio is really high, return on investment. For durability and clothes to wear, how long would it last you? What do they do for you after they're looking? It's like they have casual hoodies that are black, they don't have their chemical. And this looks at least as good as the ones that they sell sports for, like a regular casual hoodie. Close to the same price, otherwise. And they're chemical. So, yeah, I recommend that if you're really looking to protect that from lockdowns. It depends, it's my decision. Okay. Just kind of look this a little bit. But you can check it. This is probably not more cost. Where is our past performance and all. So from here, you go here, you can go here. So it depends on how you do it. I'm not going to take this one. I had some talk in my principal and all outside, so I'm not going to break off but I would be public. So we take that out and we cancel the remaining year. We will want to have this year. And the line, There you go. And I'm not leaving that. I will say. So, I like that. And I've been part of the secret persecution program now for a decade, and it's a war. I'm a Christian boy in the war to people. And my Christian time passed. I've been told with physical persecution and other types of persecution. And I ended up living in Paris, in the city by the country. Paris, meaning day. In Paris, in the city by the country. And this other Christian and also citizens. Trying to labels. Being a Christian, being persecuted, and go through things like being in danger to see the living by the heathen rather than the same city or control. So I'm a Christian when we're talking Gang-Stalking Targeted Individuals, and it's not only laws heathen about participate. Some Christians Christian means to do like the church or we can say it's kind of disgusting sometimes when I see people walking the program like Christians
Christian ministries help me because usually. And it's like communication with like I'm being part of the psychological warfare they use, narcissistic use. It's and people get work low self-esteem and stuff and like you suck, you're a suck, piece of shit. You suck at everything, you're ugly and then stuff. And then the same program, people are saying we're Christian, but we work in harm with you. They think that's the only way to do it, see. It's like they abuse what you good to you, see. When they do narcissistic, they abuse good and they work to hurt you psychologically and break you down, okay, not to that point. And like you suck your role with a piece of shit. You're worthless. They have people pay talk to them in the shadow of your life, more if they're not real. And then people that work for like that, they need to be humble. Why needs to be humble? It's like people attacking insults for you to help them out. Okay. I'm not joking. Now, for example, earlier today they had a site talking up in my chat saying you look small today, you look like shit and stuff, you look small and stuff. And then the program might go like Tom Seagal, he might be like now imagine if Tom Seagal could do what he's doing in this video forward, he would use all support if he exposed and move forward. Imagine if that's the function of life and Tom Seagal was there and the nice the pastor. And then someone walks in, we got Miss May here, you're looking ugly as fuck, you're a disgusting freak, you look even fat than last time, you look fat and ugly. Okay. People are like, oh. And they've got this guy's a narcissistic abuse, it's spiritual abuse. Okay. So it's like that wouldn't fly in front of the world doing this and trying to justify that. But like behind the scenes, they might be like, yeah, part of program has people come to back and say you're ugly, you look like shit, and you're worthless. And then they might be, yeah, he needs to be humble. Okay. And just trust the Lord. His coffee should come from thinking his shape, you should trust the Lord. And then this is okay. But if they couldn't do that, other than the secret work of their body like behind the scenes, if you think about it, how would this fly down to somebody else and all okay. To be like, Tom Seagal is in this good financial circle, there's somebody in the audience, and be like, yeah, Jay, you look even fat and ugly than last time. You're a disgusting freak, you're ugly, you look fat and ugly. Even fat and ugly than last time you were here. You got people who you know look like a witch because okay, the past is one of the talk so many Christian laws. People it'd be like they get a reputation like this is a narcissistic abuser, a spiritual abuser, like a predator. It's like targeting like a wolf in sheep's clothing, a raven wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah. So it's like you have to look at that things and put it in perspective. Okay. Just how we saw it and see these people. So yeah, I'm going to call the persecution program. We're also talking with Gang-Stalking. And people are included probably more statistics like that. So you see me talk about some parts sometimes. And maybe I should be more narcissistic and selfish and like not give free offering to companies and like wait until they start paying to or if I ask them, say, oh, you can give me some freebies if I start recommending your brand of pants for my YouTube channel to a target audience. Okay. Now here's the point. I'm not looking to become okay. So it's like I do recommending live on that like some of vitamin C when I talk about vitamin C supplements, good, bad, ugly. And I've been talking about that. I've been talking about cold steel knives. It's like one of my favorite knives. One of my YouTube content is knife we use to train knife martial arts, and I end up recommending cold steel knives to people. But I'm not a shit for them. They don't pay me money. I never been paid off that point. And I never reached out to one of the companies that I've been promoting or recommending my channel and not asking for this. Now maybe get the camera too. I mean, it's like we reach out to full steel and like, hey, I've been recommending your knives and I'm looking to buy a new knife. This is, can you give me a 10% discount on my next life purchase because I've been promoting your calls on this. And it's like you could try it, and the worst thing you can get is a no. Okay? So maybe I start doing that. Okay, maybe I should start doing that. Okay.
Yes, I get caught with narcissistic abuse by monkeys and we recruited to participate in Gang-Stalking program and people get recruited to talk me with covert narcissistic abuse. So-called narcissistic abuse. Push my brothers and mess with me. And it's very discreet and subtle, which means it's hard for people to tell what's going on, but I can tell I'm being messed with. The big part of Gang-Stalking is psychological warfare. And a lot of psychological warfare is explainable through a framework of narcissistic abuse. There's a smear campaign used to recruit people to so-called flying monkeys to target people with narcissistic abuse. That's a big part of psychological warfare. Gaslighting, sort of put down to target you and lower your self-esteem, and have perfect confidence and gaslight you, and that's it. There's projection, part of it. Where people are part of the program, you be accused by financial gains or things that they will give your other people in their hierarchy that they do. And I do believe that hypothetically I had the ability to be with anything. So participating in this program, people are listening consequences. All the videos. I saw a video recently of something like that for a video with somebody says Smith and they was went this. So they should be spoken to this for all people that COVID abuse and Smith campaign analysis. Nice point. Even if they don't go to prison, they go to the fight if you're not safe, not Christian. And the Christians, probably they get chasing. Somebody's a Christian, so that will basically for the sins. But if nobody gets away with the sin, nobody gets away with the sin. Those who have been watching my videos know that I do a relatives and less than a week I'm going to this. And I didn't make us wake up with the weekend yesterday either. So I thought about this before doing my discipline can help. So having discipline is from what control. A lot of this is trying to whether they watch the control or check these months. Whether it's what is 69 months from 100 or 1 the same discipline that I had, I tried to about it. You really fast. What should you last single prevention today? Eating 1 time a day, fasting for 1 hours. And starting out with intermittent fasting and fasting daily, I would do this. I wake up every morning and get time sometimes the day before. I'm not eating until at the earliest. Let's say I wake up at 9 in the morning and I ate before going to bed at 8 o'clock, let's say. I wake up at 9 in the morning, let's say. Well, that makes sense. So, more common. Let's say I fall asleep at midnight. Wake up at 9 in the morning. And it's like I'm going to fast today. Starting out now, not just second nature. It's like I'm fasting today. Count, because I was home for 16 hours at least. Started getting to fasting. I was there with 16-8 fasting, and then 18-6, and then went home. So starting out fasting, I'd be like, wake up, pick the times. I went to eat yesterday. Look at when I had my meal, and then plus 16 hours. I was doing 16 hours last night. And I go, okay, I can eat for this time. Eventually gets to that fasting, and you get classic 5+ hours. And I go to, so at this point, getting to fast, I'd be like, wake up in the morning, look at the clock, it's 9 in the morning. I'm not eating until at the earliest 18 hours, 6 in the evening. And it might come a time where I feel like eating, and I will not. And I have to keep doing that. The same discipline has been applied to my drinking, because I have a bottle of whiskey in the cabinet. And the last 2 days getting it off. So it would be easy to be like, oh, I'm bored, I have free time to cook up some whiskey. So I've been using with my alcohol before I had limits to myself. So I go not until this time. And also for a while I was going one bottle per month alcohol rule. And then I would do not before this time and had this with about a dose where I pour up from when I start drinking till I go to bed, like how much, like pour up the whiskey and pick like a level, not more than this. And not just have it like I'm drinking, like I'm not drinking half the bottle. So discipline is important, especially if you're following people. Discipline is important. So I'm going to switch to my outdoor shoes. And here's my outdoor shoes. These have a steel cap and a Kevlar insole. So in case you step on a ball, the nail they designed to stop that. And a steel cap. And then here, there's a layer of Kevlar that's designed to stop also glass and so those are the outdoor shoes. Last time I was in the liquor store, somebody had dropped a bottle before. It was shards of glass and liquid. As I rubbed the liquid, I could smell alcohol. Then I go to find a whiskey in the back. And I see like a powder and shards of glass. And I thought about this, like I got the shoes. And I thought it's like, if I would have just walked and like looked at the ceiling or top shelf and stuff, and like walked into the shard of glass, how is it? Then it'd be like, it would have saved my foot. Okay. And in a moment like that, you really appreciate investing in shoes, protective shoes. But to be honest, I would appreciate it more if I actually had stepped on it. I just stepped on shard of glass and saved my foot because we got special shoes. So I stepped on a piece of glass at home. So after what happened before, I bought protective shoes, steel cuff shoes. They just like search protective shoes. And on team in which I bought my shoes, the protective shoes commonly have a steel cap and a layer of Kevlar. And a lot of times enhanced grip, where I'm designed to protect from slip and fall injuries because it's extra gripping, like walk on wet surfaces. I got into that after I got an injury. I stepped on a glass ball, my left foot. So I had a grocery bag on the floor in the kitchen, and I'm walking into the kitchen, and this happened a few times. I come home with groceries, I put it kind of on the kitchen floor, and then I get to put it up where it's going to go later on. So I walk into the kitchen, either it was a vinegar glass bottle like that, or it's just on the floor. But I walk into the kitchen, I'm wearing Crocs, flip-flops, similar to these. I keep up all shoes. And I walk in the bags, and I have like a sharp pain from a sharp object going to my foot, left foot. So there's a short glass that went through kind of thick foam, like rubbery shoes, flip-flops, into my foot. And it's just a little bit, but it caused severe bleeding, okay? Kind of severe. And it must have hit a major artery, blood tube, whatever they call it, like a major blood vessel in the foot. Like the middle one, all things can shut for. So I step on it, it's a sharp pain, and I look down, and it's like, I can see blood quickly. And then, since it's still in there, what I did was pull it out. And they might say in emergency, if you have an object that gets stabbed, leave the knife if you can go remove it. But I said, I didn't pay for that. I'm not giving advice on the first day, go by doctor. But this is point. So how I react to it is I step on glass ball out, and I look down, and it's bleeding, and my foot is still caught with a shard of glass in the foot. Okay. So what I do is get my foot out, and then as I'm standing like this, there's quickly, there's like a major flow of blood and pooling on the ground. So I could tell that it's bleeding quite a lot. To a point where if not attended, I would pass out and lose consciousness from blood loss pretty quickly. Maybe within 9 minutes if I just left it like that and ignored it. If the major bleeding was going on. Thankfully I had some supplies on my head, wound gauzes, like a box with compresses, gauzes, whatever they're called. It's like big ones. And non-woven, okay. And I had a bottle of vodka. So what I do is I'm never going back. I'm just saying how I respond. So I hopped over here, I got the pumps, got the vodka, pour vodka on my food, and then the compasses, and then dry the top of the food and stuff. And I had white medical tape, not this exact type. It was a different type of white medical tape. And compass on it, and then wound this tightly around the foot. And that stopped the bleeding. So it turned out to work. And since I recommended it, this is good first aid supplies. White medical tape. And one I had might be better at not having liquid go through it. This, it might bleed through it. But one I had, it was more like non-absorbent. Like, okay. And I got the bleeding stopped, and then I didn't call an ambulance. I called someone and asked if he picked me up and got me to the hospital, which I stopped the bleeding, so I didn't need to have an ambulance. Do you understand? So it was unnecessary. I asked if I could get picked up by someone who has a drug substance, and they could come pick me up. And while I went to come, got in the bed, and then was showering, and cleaning up. And I had my foot, but I was in here, in the bathtub. I got in the bathtub, and I was sitting like this, and then showering, like this. Okay. And I started having like a euphoric endorphin rush. And started laughing like in jokes. And then I was doing like that. Put me back in, I can still do this. Put me back in, I can still do this. Put me back in, I can still do this. And then I was like kind of a euphoric rush or whatever. And cracking jokes. Deal with it. So anyway, support. And I went to the hospital, and when they removed the bandaging, there was blood posting out, and then they just once required. So I was impressed at how much bleeding it was, because I cannot try to people understand anatomy, biology, and knife fighting. I think you repeat that you need like a lot of competence that time. If you like bleeding, like machine, like a blue or something, you have to really do it to be a good fighter. It doesn't have to. So like this, you need fighter. So maybe it was around 1 centimeter wide, is what the local measure is. 1 centimeter wide, 1 stitch required to close it up. But the number of bleeding from that 1 centimeter wide hole in my foot, it was a lot. Okay. So it's a puncture wound, and it's at the major blood tube in the middle that branches out. So it must have got in the middle. Okay. And after that, I invested in a pair of steel cap shoes, protective shoes with kept on insole, and so anyway. And I bought a whole size, which I do my post, which I wear the legs. If I would buy all my hoodies with like a tight fit, like skinny jeans, it'd be hard to wear several ones. So I like that kind of thing. And buying oversized, you can have several things. Right? These, I bought these a longer size than my normal size, so that I can wear thick wool socks with each winter. Or special insoles, which I like to wear like this. And this is really safe on these. I won't be surprised if all kind of bad knee or ankle one. All the cheap wing I've been doing is like kicks and cutting. And sometimes had a day after kind of sores in my knees, my ankles, from so like 20 hard kicks. I won't be surprised if all the pain I've been doing is jumping and exercising when I have bad knees. And it's like always painful. If it hadn't been for investing in like shoes that are cushioning and also insoles like this. So it's a really cushion. That helps, especially with the heel kicks if you're kicking and I would use a cushion. So my point is this, I bought shoes for after with multiple layers of socks, bottom layer is thick. I bought we run like this, it's like quite easy to put a lot of stuff in it with this oversize. But this might be enough. I'm not looking at it. People can be on live stream, trade session. Zero. Right. And speaking of the that's going to be later. Resource. And life experience. They're doing the ball. And the only system that is recycling like this kind of way. This might be for a little work like the light. But me, the well size for the air to wear that over outer. And not restrict light movement. Multiple pollination. I'm gonna make some salt for you. Also, come set up procedures. Set up also cover procedures to do laser mix hardware. Yeah, so I ended up with a secret persecution ball called Gang-Stalking Targeted Individual, problem with COVERT abuse and verbal abuse and other types of abuse. And the people that are part of this will not play a dangerous game for a dangerous game. The risks are very serious consequences. The fine markets will take orders to target people. Legal consequences like consequences of galloping with them, suing them, and natural consequences. And the five markets are like hearing and delusional. Most of them are easily diagnosed as arrogant and delusional. I mean, they've been told lies they need to get the orders for me. And they have like a sense of arrogance. Meaning it's like their behavior is like in a way that makes you think like how fucking weird. But then they do. It's like how big. It's like they understand the toilet people waste their weight, the person toilet people, how dare you? And as far as I'm concerned, the behavior in the case being delusional and arrogant. It says in the Bible, try to go for instruction, God is big before fall. And so I'm going to make salt. Yeah, so my point is, people who work for this program, they're going to get consequences. So they risk consequences. And it's less accuracy. They go on these consequences. Just a matter of what type and how long after they do what they do. So there is a corruption to the level that it can't kind of keep it unfortunately. Now, I suppose sooner or later they will pay for what they've done, because the Bible teaches if they stay lost, they're going to pay for their sins in the lake of fire, and they might have natural consequences of this life by the sins too. And but here's how many from salt water you can mouthwash from the and nasal vessels. That's how I flush my sinuses with salt water. Those use mouthwash from and not only after brushing it. That's all I brush it. So I use a glass bowl and regular salt. What I use for cooking is in clean salt. This I use for making mouthwash. Here's another thing. Oh, okay. From my research, so what I've been taught is legal ones. And can give you water here in prison. Meaning, you understand? So I would have the right to residence people to the ground and do citizens arrest. Use violence. Not like, oh, you're a bad criminal, you turn, it's like they have been attacking you with violence and you use violence to kind of tit for tat, illegal. Technically, it'd be illegal for me. As far as my understanding, to make a citizen arrest people. And if they resist my arrest, they can use more violence. According to Swedish law. So I know that according to Swedish law, certain disgrace like a target. I know that according to Swedish law, well, now I have the right to get my hands on and use force to dissuade them. And then I call the cops. And it's okay. This is okay. Because it's like whatever. So now that's not what I've been doing. Okay, but hypothetically. So you have a right to do citizen's arrest for crimes that supersede 1 year in prison in the law. Meaning they have like a law. A person shoplifting can get ranging from this, like a fine, to like a month in prison, maybe something like this. Okay. So for crimes they can give you a year in prison, you have the right to a citizen's arrest. Okay. Like for example, if somebody has a garage and a car, group stuff, that would be severe theft. If somebody has a villa and they got like a Ferrari car in the garage, and there's some crack that come and start stealing it, the car will have the right to get the guy restrained and call the cops as a citizen's arrest, because that's group stuff. That's not going to be more than a year in prison. It's like the financial of this car, and the crime is happening on a person's property, like near their home. Okay. So do you understand? So for that, in Swedish law, a guy could get more than a year in prison for doing that, for trying to steal a Ferrari in somebody's garage. Okay. And if the homeowner finds him doing that, he has the legal right in Swedish law to grab the person to his arrest. And if I put him on the ground, whatever, the guy is persistent trying to break off again, or put him on the ground himself. They use violence. And you don't have the right to use self-defense, violence, against somebody defending themselves. So even them defending themselves against your citizen arrest would be a crime. Do you understand? So, man har inte rätt att använda nödvärn mot en människa som använder nödvärn mot en person. So it is a point. So technically, as far as I'm concerned, I will go to myself as you swear a couple times. Let's say I would have two plumbers come to my home to fix the pipe. Okay? And they start horrible with psychological warfare for this poor. As far as I'm concerned, that's a crime. They're committing crimes. That can be the more than in prison, which would give me the right to do citizen's arrest. Okay. Using violence and force. According to Swedish laws, would be like taking matters in your own hands and vigilante. According to Swedish law, murders, you will have the right to commit citizen's arrest because the crime that you're committing is more than a year in prison. if they do it, the crime is committing more harm to an individual more vulnerable to this type of criminal abuse. Where is it happening? In the father's home. Who is the target? The person extra vulnerable to psychological abuse. Okay. And if it's numerical superiority, it was like there's two plumbers doing it, to one autistic guy in his own home, then that's a very good severe. Okay. So if I look at this Gang-Stalking order, this Gang-Stalking order recruits people to target with psychological abuse intended to hurt and cause stress and suffering and pain and torment. Like, do you understand? It's like people are paid to bully somebody and working to make them feel stressed and bad and hurt and break them down and feel unsafe or understand, to feel worried about what's going to happen. And the problem is sometimes when they have this kind of mistakes, they could become veiled threats to the problem. Veiled, protect that. Veiled threats to the problem. To cause psychological damage to you. Okay. To make you feel for life and feel stressed and hurt. And it's part of the person's life. This is happening every day. This is a problem that recruits people to abuse the person consistently, unempowered in the home, all over the place. So, and there's a problem that recruits people to do this. So as far as I'm concerned, the crimes committed by people that do like covert abuse, narcissistic abuse, for this program, started to put times veiled threats into this, pushing buttons, that's a severe crime. And according to Swedish law, I would have the right to make a citizen arrest, meaning physical violence, use force to restrain them, and if needed, and make a citizen arrest. And the Swedish court might not agree with that in the corrupt court system. But according to my research on the law, I have right there, which after doing some research and seeing it shows up, they might be say, oh, I didn't want to have the right to use force when Gang-Stalking shot them on. They wanted the law there to make a citizen arrest. Now, I wouldn't count like a Swedish court counting my legal behavior as legal behavior. Seeing how problem it is. But that's a different thing. It's a different thing. So, yeah. Now, that's not how we think. It's anything with this money of the cost and it's ordered against offers of the people who do this. It's a cost of the deep state. It's not called by the deep state. And the deep state, that's for the records, it's Gang-Stalking going on there. And the government's involved. So if you're talking about service people, cab drivers, big camera, that's not going to come from the one cameras. We're trying to mess with you. Okay, you have service people come to you, every person that pays a premium from feeding your house, or you have like now and then numbers or somebody contract something else. If you're talking more kind of happy or something, people in general. Yeah, and these things are going to work to the future, to call it the future, like the other more information. And you can't run to the government to approach the law because this is state persecution as successful. This is gang-stalking against the it has government protection. So in America, before the gang-stalk, we don't have law enforcement. Yes, to be able to legal. In which people will be received state. This is wrong. And, and I believe that of course, the abuse from weapons and tyrants and oppressors like soft balls that you should do execute. So I vote to become as dangerous as I can be, which means if someplace in the group the abuse of the kid has to be criminal, they're in great danger. So I talked about this before, private bodies and private bodies. It's like as a citizen, you should be a dangerous citizen. That is dangerous to do because that keeps tyrants from solving people. That is dangerous to do. So I do believe now that as a man, you should be about as all the dangerous as you can do as a preventive measure against children and their fathers. Which means if you live home in Texas, you should have a lot of home, car dogs, whatever. You should make it hard for that they should be like worried about making the house and like, know how people are weapons in the home. So I don't know why I actually I go because this people are weapons in the home. If I break yourself so I'm going to stop it. Even this guy sheriff, what's it called? Yeah, I saw this guy, this sheriff, there's like grants. You're all high or what's the guy? He shows up in press conference and where it's like they take it from American sheriff or whatever it is, like chief or something, police department. And he goes, it's like, yeah, we encourage, it's like there was a burger shop yesterday by citizen. And we encourage citizens to shoot burglars on the spot. And burglars should know that in this county, if you break into someone's home, you might be shot to pieces. So, yeah, it's a kind of controversial. You gotta say it's like that type of vibe. So, yeah, I do believe that I'm not looking to be a soft or a sweet little system. I'm looking to be strong and dangerous to make it harder for people to do. And it's not like a group. Someone's in the room with me, I want to kill them, I just succeed. Like statistically, I'm likely to make it out of life. That made for life, they'd never be the same. You understand? If somebody's in here with me and attacking me and I need to do self-defense, I have the ability to inflict life-altering injuries to possible death. And that's what they would risk me. They risk me hurting them in ways that they never come. And losing life. Which I'm not saying anything people was everything. I'm just saying that is reality. You understand? That's reality. If somebody gets inside my house, starts breaking the law, women attacking me, they risk me inside my violence. And now if I go also want to self-defense and use weapons sometimes. That's so I do have weapons, but I haven't pulled them and attacked them before. So that might be that is what's important.
I believe that you are, as a human being, Swedish or not, you should be about as open and dangerous as you can to the nation as a preventive history. That's what the founding fathers did. What do you think the founding fathers wrote in the Constitution? The right to bear arms should not be infringed upon. Because they were foreseeing tyrants trying to take over America and bully the president tyrannize the public. So they go, if the public are armed, and we have in the Constitution they can have guns, that makes it dangerous for tyrants to start bullying the president tyrannize them. And that can keep tyrants from even trying. That it's like the nation is armed and dangerous. So if we want to just have millions of us start bullying people and tyrannizing them, they have weapons that they can fight. It's a dangerous thing to bully the American public. You understand? It's a dangerous thing to bully the American public because the American public have weapons. They have weapons. And you see this in the military too, where military is a lot of times used to show force. Which is part of most militaries have like parades, and the Russian military parade, where they show like all the MLRS missile launchers and ICBMs and tanks and then people marching stuff. And part of the reason for that, I'm celebrating, is to let other nations know that we have all this stuff here. So if somebody's thinking about waging war on Russia, like going to Russia to wage a war, it's like that's a dangerous thing to do. And just like letting people know that the reality is a dangerous thing to do can make it less likely people even try. Less people trying, and some people not I know wouldn't try if they talk about all this decision. And here's the point. I think, for example, if a burger in America, if they have a state where it's legal to have not guns but knives and stuff, and it's legal to attack burgers physically for breaking them all, I believe that burgers will be less likely to break people's homes and then try to murder people there or steal the stuff. If it's all, well, I might get stabbed in the neck or in the eye. I might get cut in the face, like a guy might come out with a knife, stabbing me in the face, the eyes, and the neck, and or hit me over the head, get my skull crushed in. Okay. I saw a guy talk about narcissistic abuse, and he said, narcissists do narcissistic abuse. But if they go to prison, all of a sudden they turn off the narcissistic abuse switch. Because now they're in an environment where they just get their brains cashed in and they start abusing people. Okay. Now here's the point. If you're a total individual, you've got to be total narcissistic abuse no matter what. They're also going to find disgusting, freak weirdos that are like false sense of security. They feel safe. They feel like people that you would never set up to them. And if you did, then you wouldn't succeed in somebody. So they always be able to get cared for, down their total weak people, not delusional, to feel safe by getting people. It's like they're always going to be able to find some people that are dumb and evil and they're sick enough. Be able to be like brainwashed into feeling like, yeah, go in and start doing this talk video, and there's no risk that you hurt you. They said they could if they tried, and they would never try this video. So here's the point. Don't expect the talk video that is at this level of being on the data so get people to stop picking on it. But I personally believe that the people that have the job of teaching others, they don't deserve to feel safe and comfortable doing so. I mean, I don't believe, as a discussion, I don't believe that people have the right to feel safe and comfortable while they're on people's lives and they love community. They should risk bad things. So I'm going to get ready to watch that position. And that's more on the work. Yeah, så ett par gånger var så går det så att du så var klart här. For the Swedish law, I can't have like firearms. I can't have an AR-15.
But I can have spears and knives and machetes and hammers, clubs, and they're all quite a lot. Jag take a look at a simple paper or something. Today it is Thursday, May 7th, 2026. Don't forget that light bar has 3 lights on the screen at this moment. You can see this not showing the light bars. Like, however, it's set my central line 11, it's already shows the light. It has 3 lights. Red stage. People's lights.
No, I'm gonna start a part 2. Well, actually, I started with. Again, live. My name is Mike Saha, and I'm a Christian targeted individual targeted with a secret phone called Gang-Stalking Targeted Individuals, and I live in Oxelösund, Sweden. So I am the target of a secret program called Gang-Stalk that recruits people to target me. Most online tiers are fake, so beware of the disinfo, misinfo online. That if you try to research this Gang-Stalk targeted individuals, you see a lot of crazy talk. A lot of talk about direct energy weapons and satellites and V2K machines and the flat earth and spaceships, whatever. So a big part of how they work to cover up Gang-Stalk and discredit this to the public is to have a lot of disinfo, misinfo spread by fake TI crazy talkers and others. These people that are recruited to discredit the talk with crazy talk. So there's a lot of fake TIs out online. A lot. Gotta make some changes to this stream using my laptop. So Gang-Stalk is real. What is Gang-Stalk? It's a secret persecution bomb that could destroy a person's life. It's a war. It's a war being waged on me. I get targeted with psychological warfare, harassment, physical targeting, and I have been targeted with this secret persecution war program called Gang-Stalk for more than 10 years. do is I would like I'm going to talk to the persecution of and I'm going to talk a little bit more. It's a role of Gang-Stalking. I get from the psychology. He was a speaker, and Gang-Stalking is real. I don't know exactly how many people talk to him, but I know that there's more fake from the second. So our point was to cover up things. So a big part of that is to seven harsh people and hide people like me. So that our reality as long as speaking to people. And then to pump up all this crazy talk of fake videos. They will hide our identity. Yeah, that's a big bad restoration. But then remote control. Okay. That's why all this fake crazy things. So we will with this gang-stalking phenomenon. It's vulnerable, it's evil, it's international policies. You have to cover up in stalking register crazy talk. Not every crazy talk is by default a fake talk. We also have to get like brainwashing the scene, like fake to like wolfish photography when you really when you do this something like this. But most crazy talks are fakes, yeah. And anybody who's not the crazy talks when they say the same thing, something called it. No matter what, it's more crazy. Alltså varje konstnär and all the people live against stalkers. Sometimes they have people, so I will counter people when I'm leaving with time. These people already have been sent out because I'm going to go outside. If you prepare to be called by the handler, they'll be sent out to in public, that people will be sent to a wide variety. So it's called insult because protocol is people being sent to only more people. Yes. So Gang-Stalking is really more some ideas around. I've been telling targets that you need to set up a code entry denial system. Okay, so there's a live stream over there and then video recording there. So Disse timestamp camera, this timestamp camera remove this one.
There's a code inside of the front door. And I have a license over here. So that's the way you can protect yourself. Make it hard for Poland to do that job. You need permissions to make it hard for people to go to work.
than asphalt or concrete. I'm home. Good job, honey. Thank you, babe. And I see some people today in the supermarket who are forgetting to bully me, but I didn't fight. Good job, honey. I'm gonna speak now. You talk very loud. Yes, now. This is my Amazon track. Woo! Don't forget to hit the like button if you're watching this. This is used for wrist training. And like a string with a weight on it. You would like weight. You can use it to this. Yeah. This. And now I'm doing what it is. And we go to this. That's one way to exercise your wrist. I got a sleep pretty soon. I call it. Can you wait 10 minutes before you sleep? I can call you, it's 39, 40, 50. Can I call you 10 minutes from now and say goodnight to you? Can you wait 10 minutes and I come to say goodnight to you? Call your messenger and say goodnight. Can you wait 10 minutes? We're firing. Can you give me 5 minutes? We're firing. 5 minutes and anything about flames. Okay? We're firing now. Can you give me 30 seconds of sweating more, understand? Can you give me 30 seconds more? I believe that my dad up in heaven is working at some exercise. Yeah, so what does it count? Okay, good. It's 40, so I go by the timer. It says how long have I been live? 40 minutes and 3 seconds, which means at 50 I'm ending and calling. So that's 10 minutes from now. So what type of training do you just do? It's cardio training and it's skill. Use, okay, there's like some technique, spinning things. So it's strength training. Well, this training, okay, it's cardio. Cardio and total some muscle groups with like squats and going down and some swinging and things like this. To have muscle activation degree, which is what I call activate your muscles, okay, which means if there's a muscle group you never use, it will begin to activate. So if I used to do skis, skateboarding, and you do that all the time, skateboard on a weekly basis. So the muscle groups are used for skateboarding, that's how from snowboarding gets built up. So you stop snowboarding, skateboarding, you might, this muscle atrophy. Because we don't need these muscles to be this strong because we're not used to them. And it's so atrophying. It's not a secret. You don't have to kill yourself in the gym. If you got it in shape, you can just get a little bit of muscle activation to prevent atrophy. Where it's like the brain is like, oh, we still need these muscles, they use them. It's like these muscles, they're still being used now and then, so let's keep them there. And certain muscle groups, if you do things like this, they stop being built. The certain muscle groups that you move, that you can feel a little bit soreness, or it's like active muscle groups that are being built. And since I'm wearing, this is a winter jacket, okay? This is like a winter grade jacket. And it's like a windbreaker fabric. And then I have this thick hoodie, Kevlar line, Kevlar spot. And then this Quick sports fabric, which is going to need to dry quick, okay? So it will come and use that feature. And then a cotton tank top. Yeah. And then what about the bottom layers? Well, I'll show you. Bottom layers, these 6 shoes, one layer of like thick woolly socks. Two, we're doing this in another order. Take the clamps off first. I don't think there's other well students like me. If I analyze more content, I don't think there's a lot of people who are well students the way that I do. It's rare for students to be well students anyway, but especially if I've done it. So these are M90 pants. These are denim pants. With a layer of Kevlar in them. Sweat, okay, there's another layer of thick denim pants here. And then athletic shorts, like thick compression sleeves, all the way from my ankle up here. Okay, so there's two of them. So it's overlapping all over, meaning one of them goes right up to the knee, the other one covers it, goes up here to the hip bone. And then there's long ones. So that, like 3 minutes, so like, okay, I'm in the cardio zone. Okay, level 1 class for sure, cardio. It's a lot more just because I'm overdressed. So being in a sauna turns a steady cardio. You see in the sauna, your body is having to work to cool you down. It's cardio training, conditionsträning. So being dressed like I was over there, doing like exercising, I don't have to do it that long that hard because I'm getting quite a lot of cardio. This is short, like a burst of activity, where I'm sweating a lot. So athletes do weight cuts. I had a little pussy cow cyberstalking, someone said you're looking small today. Listen, bitch, I don't have insecurities about my physique. Okay, I'm in great shape. I don't have insecurities. Okay, I don't feel small today. Oh. I don't have insecurities, okay? I'm in great shape. I look great, okay? I don't have insecurities about what I look like. Yeah. So here is the point. This is for athletes, boxers, what's all this? I see this sometimes Saha, for example. I've seen Saha before his fights. He does shadow boxing wearing a sauna suit. The sauna suit is pretty much like a windbreak where it's not letting out moisture, so it's called a sauna suit, and some fighters use for a weight cut. It's like a sauna suit, and then you shadow boxing or walking or jogging, and it makes them sweat a lot. And that can be part of a weight cut procedure. When they walk around, let's say they weigh 70 kilos normally, or like 80, and they need to go down 5 kilos to 75 for them to make weight, let's say. Let's say there's 85 kilos, they need to hit 80 kilos for just a minute on a scale. And they might do that. It's like, oh, I'm 84.5, get in the sauna, sweat more, check the weight, the 83 or something, and then they sweat enough to lose a lot of body weight and end up being like 75 kilos for a few minutes. That's the way in. So that's basically the effect that I had doing just a little bit of shadow boxing and moving around, being dressed like this. It's like a sauna suit effect with extra cardio. But wait, there's more. Curling. I'm sorry, I was supposed to have insecurities because I'm like, people like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Maybe they end up WACP, or like the black people who should look into that guy's name. Arnold Schwarzenegger, see if he's a racist. Schwarz means black in German. Okay? Now I wouldn't be surprised. What if Arnold Schwarzenegger's parents were like really racist? So it's like, that's what I'm naming my child. Black name. Okay? Schwarzenegger, I'm not talking this anymore. Schwarz means black in German. And then Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger. It sounds kind of racist sometimes there. Because it's always like let's never keep something racist. First one name is black, the word for black in German, Schwarz. And then the last name is Negro, which sounds like an insult to black people. I would do understand this. Maybe somebody to look into Arnold Schwarzenegger and see if he's like trolling the black people. It's like, there's a good name or something. It's like, hatar Jews och så för det. Hatar Jews. If you would be German, they name the child hatar Jews, okay? And it like sounds very close to hate the Jews. It's okay. I mean, this is a joke, okay? This is a joke. This is a thing. I don't actually believe in this name. Now, this not a native speaking Finnish, will use skin too white, okay? So it looks like a putla. He doesn't look good to me. She likes my skin being white. So she might be going for so white, and it's a color practice for this. Or she just writes skin too white, it's like very white, use the word too as like a lot, like an abundance, okay? It has a lot more than what is needed in the positive, meaning so white as it goes there, the movie is like, I love you, what she said, your skin too white, but she's lovely on the eyes, like hard eyes, and then like a heart. So we is excited to me because she's got like gorgeous brown skin. And I'm excited to her about being paler than the average type. Okay, so this is human psychology now. So it's like in Sweden, if you go to a vacation to Spain, you see palm trees. It's like the first time you go on vacation to kind of palm trees in Sweden, you'd be like, wow, that's so cool. It's like you used to see birches and like Christmas trees and pine cones and stuff and birches. But it's like if you go to a vacation and they have like palm trees. That's what exotic, okay? So there's exotic things and exotic people. So part of my attractive draw to me can be damn exotic, understand? Where it's like, there's general objective stuff, like if you're a handsome man, you're generally attractive. But it can be that you might be more attractive being handsome to a woman who comes from a country where not only you're handsome, but it's like you gotta wear. It's kind of like this. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if Thailand is in Thailand. Might have like blonde on the side. Like a woman with white skin and blonde hair. They might be like that's exotic, I would say. It's like special, it's different. It's like they Jews like the average woman they see has like brown hair or black. And if they see a woman like blonde, they're not like, wow. I understand it's like it's exotic, a little bit special. So yeah, I know. Your skin too white. She doesn't mean that as an insult. So when she use skin twice, she's not saying it's too white, it's bad. She's like, I like how white your skin is. So me, a few times I told her, don't be a boss. And everyone said, I'd like to get a suntan this summer. Because like my skin looks pale, I like to have a little bit darker skin. And she was, I like your skin. It's white, it's good. So, to me, it's like I'd like to have it more brown, but she likes that it's not brown. Now, I don't think she stopped liking it if I get a deep something. So, yeah, if I weigh myself, right now I would be surprised if I weighed 73 kilos, or 71 and a half, or 72.5. Maybe if I weigh myself right now, it's 73.5 kilos, okay? And depending on what I do the next 24 hours, yeah, for the hardware, I might be 75 kilos tomorrow morning. Depending on what I do from now till tomorrow morning, I might go from 71 and a half to 75 tomorrow morning. What time is it? 90. Oh, I gotta end this. Okay. Okay. Let it snow. The weather outside is delightful. Let it snow. The weather outside is delightful. Let it snow. Yeah, hello, babe. I'm live, so don't say something secret, okay? Why are you cute now? Yeah, don't worry now. But can you wave hi to them? I'm gonna end the live stream. So can you just wave hi? Okay. You can wave. Oh, this is one of the sweetest little people's ever seen. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, that's my wife. We wonderful. So now you know the face to the donation link. If you see my donation link up there, that's my wife's PayPal link. Okay. So I'm on disability. I don't do things to get an income out in ways. Okay. But my wife has a PayPal link she uses for business. She knits and sells crochet items. Have been doing that. So since I'm a streamer and she's got a PayPal, I'm gonna drop the PayPal link so people can't give me money directly like donors. Okay. Up to a certain limit it could, but it becomes a hassle. I got to declare to the government somewhere like $10,000 for this. Do you understand? So here's support. My wife has a PayPal link, so that's her PayPal link. Okay. So people want to support me, donate to me, can do so by donating to my wife. Okay. And that's an indirect way to support me. And she doesn't send that money to me after the fact, but she uses it for herself and towards actualize our dream to live together, to be able to move in together. So you can wave hello last time now, my beautiful now. Don't be shy girl now, you're very beautiful. You look more beautiful when you're zooming out, when you have more like this. When you go like this, it's less beautiful now. Yeah, shamefacedness and sobriety. So I'm gonna finish up and goodbye to my viewers. Humphrey is still alive, unarrested, undead, a lot of things. I am Humphrey. It's been a video.